Hey folks, Twisted Christian here. Today I want to give you guys an update on Zion Oil and Gas. Now first, just to let you guys know, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you my opinion on Zion Oil and Gas. Now, one of the things I do want to discuss today is going to be a prophecy from Robin Cunningham. That's going to be one of the things that I want to discuss because some of you people have sent me his video. You guys want me to discuss it, give you my thoughts and opinions on it. But we'll get into that here in just a moment. So Zion Oil has crept up a little bit in the past couple days. Now, I told you guys that it's very possible that the stock could go down to 10 cents or even below if we don't hear anything soon. Right? And I told you guys that in the past, when you look at the history of Zion Oil and Gas and you look at how often they give updates, sometimes it was back to back, or sometimes it was spread out over a couple months. So I'm not worried. So the most important thing right now is just Zion Oil focusing on the drilling and getting to the oil or gas. That is the most important thing right now. The price right now does not matter unless you are trying to average down or you're trying to buy a lot more at a cheaper price. I don't know if the stock is going to go down. I don't know if it's going to go up, but right now we don't have any news at all whatsoever. All right, and I do want to go a little bit over the short interest of Zion Oil, and you can see here the short volume on a day-to-day basis on the Fintel site that publishes. I think people have said that maybe it's only about 75 to 80% of all short interest is reported on FINRA. And for those who are shorting this stock, it can be very dangerous because if they do come out with a release that is very, very positive, maybe they have oil or gas, whatever, they have all the results, it would be devastating for some of these people here. They could literally lose everything if this stock was to skyrocket and stay like that for a few days. But it just goes to show how many people here are actually betting against Zion Oil. All right, so the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is get into Robin Cunningham from Fireside Grace Ministries. Folks, I don't know him. I haven't spoke to him. I've just listened to a few of his prophecies, things he's talked about before in the past. I haven't listened to very much. And I'm not sure. He's got a lot of prophecies. He's got a lot of videos. And so he speaks about a lot of different issues and things over the past. But you really have to pay attention. If you follow this guy, you really have to pay attention every single day and actually write things down. So we're going to go ahead and to listen to this guy. Now, folks, this is kind of what we do on this channel. It's one of the things that we do. I'm not a financial expert. I'm not some big prophetic guru or anything like that. I like to listen to what people have to say, what the Lord is telling them, and then comparing it to what others that I know that are that have been tested, and then present their prophecies, whether it has to do with current events or even the stock market. So you can check that out. This video will be down below in the description. So we're going to go over a little bit over his Zion Oil and Gas, what he talks about with them.
That it's deserving condemnation, but that must be the gravity of what he's going to say. Yeah, Sleepy Joe blows his cover, that's right. So Zinog, here we go. This is the Zion Oil Company, I believe. Okay, the Lord said Zinog will produce results finding natural gas in some areas near water and in water. So that was interesting. He also said that the Gaza Strip or Gaza area that's contended will, for right now, has some natural oil or natural gas, and Israel is going to take back that land. Okay,
so one of the things that he says is that in the future that Zion Oil will find gas oil. All right, he said it would be in water or near water. I was just doing some research and just looking to see where the Zion Oil drilling site is. Right, you go to their website, you can get the information, and this is where, right where this red dot is, this is where their drilling location is. All right, and so when you go look at the map, you have the Sea of Galilee, and then you have the Dead Sea, right? And the Jordan River runs down within miles of their current location. And see, this is the Jordan River here, and it comes all the way down. It's literally within several miles away. So I know that they're not drilling in water or next to water, but they are drilling near water. And this could be something for the future, because I'm not sure if it has to do with anything where their current drilling location. You guys got to remember, folks, how long it takes for a drilling rig to get set up. We've been through this for the last couple of years, so we know how long it takes. But also, too, this is a small word for Zion Oil, too, and maybe possibly look in that area. I don't know if their permit covers, right next to the Jordan River. So I'm not too for sure about that. I just know that their current drilling site is less than several miles away from the Jordan River. And then you can actually see how far away they are from the coastline here.
He also said that the Gaza Strip or Gaza area that's contended will, for right now, has some natural oil or natural gas, and Israel's going to take back that land. Okay, so what God said is He gave them the oil fields in His original covenant when He established the boundaries of the biblical Israel. So Zinog will be among the first to drill when Israel goes back to their original borders. Now, this is what startles me about this prophecy, okay? Because Israel's original borders will take back part of Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and some other places, okay? And that's where the oil is at.
Okay, folks, this is very important, because I've been talking about Kim Clement's prophecies dealing with the war and the grave surrender. And literally, they talked about Iran and Syria joining together would actually be part of the border of Iraq, right? I showed you guys that. I talked about this. So what he's saying goes in line with what Kim Clement was talking about, the grave surrender, Iran and Syria, and that Syria and Iran will be joined together. Okay, so in order for Syria and Iran to be joined together, that means the borders of Iraq would be taken away if Iran and Syria were to join together. So that's pretty powerful. And when it comes to Zion Oil, and they're going to be one of the first to be able to get into the land when the new borders are set after this war takes place. So that means in the future. And this is one of the reasons why I hope they do find oil that at least this well can at least pump a certain amount of barrels per day that will allow them to begin to actually make money. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue. But the thing about it is, folks, what he's saying goes along the lines with what Kim Clement is saying as far as Israel's borders. There's going to be a grave surrender. And I've shared all of that, folks. So this is pretty exciting for me that he's confirming it.
I just want you to think about that. He didn't give me a time frame. He didn't say when it was going to be successful or when this would happen. Benjamin Netanyahu's coming back relatively soon, almost around the same time Trump is coming back. I feel like I heard that in the spirit months ago, but I've been kind of laying low on that because I don't know for sure. But Netanyahu's going to come back, and he's going to be the one that... You don't want to know this, but there's going to be, in our lifetime, rebuilding of the temple. That'll be the third temple. There is going to be, in our lifetime, a reclaiming of Israel's original borders. What the Lord said to me today was that we are entering into the basic, I think it was the woes of Jacob, and Jeremiah 30 time. Jeremiah 30. We're entering into the Jeremiah 30 time. Okay? Now, it may not look like what you expect. It may not happen as soon as you think it's going to happen. But keep your eyes open. And when you see Israel starting to reclaim its land, you will see America will be prospered because we'll be on their side. And just because the third temple is being built does not mean that the end of days will be within 7 years. The last time the second temple was built, it took like a decades or hundreds of years or something. I don't know. It took a long time before the temple was destroyed.
Okay, so basically he's saying that a lot of the things that are going on with Zion Oil won't actually happen until Israel restores its borders, right? I believe that event is going to start coming here pretty soon from what we see, the escalation with Syria and Iran. We're going to see some heads being bumped together. We're going to see multiple nations. This is going to be pretty huge. And what he said was, which confirmed when things seem at their worst,
we're entering into the Jeremiah 30 time.
Okay, so what he says in Jacob's woes, so it's just going to be a bad time, right, folks? And that goes along with what Kim Clement says, when things seem at their worst. This is my thoughts, and I think everything that he's saying goes along with Kim Clement, and it goes along with what we've been discussing. But as far as Zion Oil itself, I don't think this pertains to the now moment of what he's saying, because he's saying when the borders are expanded, right? And I said, folks, when you see that conflict begin to arise with Syria and Iran, there's gonna be a little bit of trouble. That's going to lead into the grave surrender when things seem at their worst. And I've done multiple videos on that. And so what I mean by when things seem at their worst, that's when the dinar revaluation. So when I talk about that, when things seem at their worst, I'm talking about the dinar, the global currency reset. Now, so as far as Zion Oil, they need to get this well going, because in the future, if they are to expand in drilling in different areas, they would have to have been successful now. And they have this one well that hopefully will lead to drilling more wells. And I've said, folks, that if they don't have very good news, this stock could plummet to below 1 cent a share if we have no positive news on this particular well. If they're going to be doing all this drilling down the line, they are going to need a lot of money. A lot of money. So even if it skyrockets to $5 or $15, it's going to come back down because they're going to need money. So this is down the road. So obviously Zion Oil is still in the picture. So I think this is, like I said, this is mainly speaking to the future. Now, he did say something about finding oil and gas near or in water. And of course, they're only several miles away from the Jordan River, their current location. The river runs right down here, and they're literally only a couple of miles away from the Jordan River. So maybe there's some clues there that Zion Oil needs to look at as far as for the future, right? And they're going to be able to go into the newly Israel land that was previously occupied, and Zion Oil is going to be able to be the first to be able to get in there and drill. In the long term, people talk about Zion Oil being $50 or $100. By the time that they're actually drilling over there, I would imagine that it's going to be pretty high, because they're going to have some success. I find this guy, he's very interesting. I'm going to look more into him and look at some of his other prophecies. He's very humble. He's not even invested in any of some of the stocks he has talked about. He's not even invested in some of those stocks. Folks, a lot of people ask when. And we have to look at this practically. People do the same thing with the dinar. When is the dinar going to revalue? They want a microwave prophecy to tell them when it's going to happen. What difference does it make? If the prophet comes and says it's not going to happen until 2023, then what are you going to do? You still have maybe 2 years before the dinar revaluation. What if he came on here and said it wasn't going to be successful till years down the line? What would you have done? So we have to be careful, too, of what we ask for. So like I said, folks, I think that most of this prophecy is for the future. The first part of it, dealing with the water, might relate to what's going on right now. But as for now, everything that he's discussing is for the future of Zion oil and gas. I do believe at some point it's going to be $50 to $100, especially when they get to really drilling. Now, one of the other things he talks about is, and he does talk about like the third temple, and he talks about other things going on with Israel. I'm going to do a separate video on that because he's been saying some interesting things. And so hopefully I'll be able to get to some of those, folks. I'm already behind. There's Now Daily Bread, Currency 365. There's a lot of videos that I need to do. So hopefully I'll be able to get to them all here shortly and present all the prophetic words in the crypto markets, in the currency realm, and in the stock realm. So folks, I appreciate you guys listening. If you guys like these videos and you like what I do, the links are down below in the description as far as supporting. Go check out Fireside Grace Ministries, give them a like, and check out their content. So with that being said, God bless. TC out.